Greetings, my friends, and welcome to a brand new Nations Guide. And today we'll be looking at the United States. Now, it has been a while since we've had a Nations Guide, and also I haven't done a United States Nations Guide at all. And I honestly can't tell you why I haven't done it. I think it's possibly because there's already a campaign for the United States already on the channel. It's been going on for a number of years, and perhaps that has sort of almost blindsided me to it. Maybe thinking I don't really need to do a Nations Guide for it, because of course, you know, we started from the beginning before, but I don't think that's the right attitude today. Subconsciously, I probably had that, but I don't think that's really the right thing to do. I think for those commanders that might be coming in brand new to and want to start the United States, it's an incredible campaign. It really, really is. Hopefully, many of you will follow the campaign, will testify. It is a fantastic campaign, and you can go a lot of different ways with it. You can take a different number of avenues with it because there's such a broad spectrum of areas you can move into. So we're going to examine those today as well. Look at trade, allies, foes, the strategic and tactical options available to you, your starting positions, your regions you have. We'll look at military might, we'll look at technology and your cabinet you start with, the president, things like that. So we're going to have a real good look, a deep dive here into the United States, and hopefully that'll give you the base from which you can sort of springboard into your own campaign. So let's start with what we've got available here. As you can see, you do start quite late in it. So I'm just going to put the head up here. You start at 1783. Now, for those of you who might want to start the United States campaign, you need Darth Mod, and what I've used anyway is Darth Mod. You go into the Darth Mod launcher, you go to campaigns, you choose DME, and you go into ultimate late, and then you obviously press start, so it loads the files in, and then you just start Empire Total War as you would normally do so, and then you go to Grand Campaign, and then it should have the United States flag next to the British flag, and that's how you start it. You do start very, very late. As you can see, you're only about 20 odd so years, so 17 odd years away from 1800, so you start quite late. You also start with a good amount of gold here, nearly 40,000, but you'll need it. Even though you've got a good number of regions already to control, you've obviously got a good amount of trade coming in as well, and the production is already started. As you can see, trade is flowing already, as you can see from here, with the Cherokee nations, and you've got some here of the United States into that internal trade. There's also coming from other nations, including Spain. You've also got Britain here, and who control all of Canada. So they haven't gone the British, but they're still at peace with you. So you never know. They can either become foes or they become allies, depending on the sort of direction you want to take your campaign. But you can see you start off with this. So what we'll do, we'll just dip into the sort of the government, what you've got available here to start off here. And as you can see, you've got tax of just under 4,000. You've got trade just under 7,000. Of course, you've got other, which is sort of other protectorates and negotiated treaties that are coming in where they paid in just under 3,000. Yes, you've got 13,275. Now your outgoings are very, very small, as you can see here. 4,206, 3,746. So as you can see, your armies are not that large at all. So this number here is going to give away straight away that you don't have a huge military base to operate from at the moment. You almost got 10,000 coming in. So, from this space here, you're going to be investing. Depending on which direction you want to go, you might want to go perhaps a diplomatic route, build a bit diplomatic sort of relationships with other countries, and then strike when you are ready, or strike in sort of internal and push out to North America, perhaps the native Indians, and that might be the way you want to go, or you might want to take Canada. So again, and you're allies with France, you're at war with Barbary states, but then again, every nation is. Trade partners of the Cherokee, the France, Sweden, United Provinces, and Spain. So again, 2 of these or 3 of these nations are incredibly prominent within the region, particularly Spain and France as well. France is embedded in North America itself. Spain has a huge amount of presence in the Caribbean and also in South America. So again, you're already in touching distance of 2 superpowers, because be under no illusion, my friends, France and Spain are superpowers. The Dutch as well, of course, they got their trade might. They're strong nation trade-wise, but militarily not really so. Same go for Sweden. And the Cherokee nations are similar as well, but never underestimate them. Their hand-to-hand combat is the best. No other nation can do hand-to-hand combat like the native Indians. They're exceptionally strong hand-to-hand combat. And as you can see here, you're affluent. You've got majestic prestige rank already. Treasury is pretty good here as well. Of course, you've got the Republic here. Let's look at our policies here. Tax level at medium level here, so right in the middle. But of course, as I was advised long ago when I first started my campaigns, it's always best to bring the middle class taxes down because that boosts overall growth of wealth. So in other words, the wealth trickles down through society, or it's meant to, at least anyway. And if you lower the tax levels, that means the middle classes have got more money to spend, and that sort of trickles down the class spectrum, as it were, or it's meant to. But it does in this particular instance. It will help. It'll also boost growth as well. Population growth will be boosted as well, as you can see here. So -10 for -8 here, and -0.4 because of the tax. But if you lower the tax down, as you can see here, it starts to lower again. If you put it to nothing, it's almost the tax burden is reduced greatly. And the same here with this year, as you see, -1 happiness. So again, what you do with your tax is up to you, depending on what the situation is. Sometimes you want to up your tax quite high, especially if some of your trade lines are hit. Your economy it really is shrinking. You could up the tax levels to sort of give you that boost over a short time to get you through the difficult times. Now, ministers, of course, you've got an excellent president here. +4 diplomatic relations, +1 to prestige per turn. He's a good president there. 84% popularity, which is exceptional. It really, really is, which means your prosperity must be pretty good here. Now, you've got a good vice president here, James Madison. You've got Elias Bolinot here. You've got James Madison here. A really, really good vice president. +8 to diplomatic relations. Absolutely incredible here. Upright as well. +2 to management. -1 to nobility, but +1 to treasury as well. So he's an architect as well. We've got an architect as a follower as well. So absolutely fantastic. The treasury minister here, Samuel Adams, is exceptional. He really is an exceptional cabinet member. I mean, look at his stars here. He's 61 years, but he's incredibly. Look at that. He's a banker, and he's a capitalist, and he also has a comp controller here as well. So although the global tax income is reduced, he's got +2 to management for treasury. He's got +2 here and +1 here. So +5 to treasury overall. That's why he's incredible here. Look at the stars here. Look at them at the skill level. He's got extraordinary. It really is. Justice, not brilliant at all. So again, you might want to look at that, especially for repression across the theatre, especially when you take on your regions. You might want a better Attorney General. Then Secretary of State George Washington, -4 to recruitment costs for Army, of course, here, +4 to land and technology research rate, and -4 to upkeep costs. Excellent here. Strategist as well, as you can see, is 51. And then Navy, a very, very good for Francis Bellamy, Naval Secretary. Good reduction here, and Commissioner as well. So all of these gentlemen have skills pertaining to their rank, apart from justice here. Frugal and thrifty. So in other words, this management he's got here of +1 is cancelled out by this, and also +1 to happiness, lower classes, which is pretty good actually. That's going to help in the long run, but again, nothing spectacular. And we've got some good opposition you can bring in here, but this is a good cabinet apart from the justice, which you might want to change. The president and also the government is doing exceptionally well here. If you go to trade, you've already got United Provinces, Spain, Sweden, Cherokee, and France we discussed. As you can see here, France is your biggest trade partner. They're getting cotton and, of course, tobacco, furs, and other goods as well, followed by Sweden, and then Spain, United Provinces, and then Cherokee nations. So you can see you're exporting mostly cotton, and cotton at the moment is 20, so that's not a bad income actually. It's one of the highest you can get there. It's the third highest, so that's pretty good there to get. That's a good amount of income we got coming in there. Now, we'll have a quick look here at diplomacy as well, because I think that's important. Now, Austria, again, they're -8 with you. They're indifferent, but you can get trade with the majority of these nations, apart from Poland and the Mughal Empire. Every one of these will give you trade. So when you get trade, also you get a boost as well to your diplomatic relations with them, because you get trade with them. Great Britain, and you've always got trade with Spain, Sweden, and provinces. That's some good trade partners there. Russia, they're indifferent. They're -3. Prussia again, they're +7. So they're indifferent. They're not really bothered by you. They're not really threatened by you either. Personally, if it was me, I'd get Great Britain as a trade partner, and I might. And again, depending on which way you want your campaign to go, you might want to sort of rid Britain entirely from North America, which is fair enough. But if you're not going to, I would get trade with Britain, because it's -18, and of course that can quickly deteriorate very quickly. But if you get trade with them, it might cancel that out. And also, you want to keep them as friendly as possible, so you can build up your armies, build up your resources, your technology as well, your regions, getting that economy booming, because Britain is in direct contact with you. Austria again, perhaps then, but maybe Russia, because they are a huge nation, but maybe Ottoman Empire, because of course the income from these two nations, particularly Ottomans, would be quite extraordinary. Britain, this would be more of a tactical trade alliance. These would be purely economical, probably with Ottomans and Russia, because of the sheer amount of mineral wealth and wealth they just have overall. That would boost your economy. This would be more of a tactical, strategic, a trade agreement, keeping Britain on side, as it were. And of course, the minor nations as well. You've got a lot of them unfriendly here. And Iroquois are very unfriendly. They require Hanover as well. Obviously, there's some sort of historical grievances there as well. But again, you can trade with them. And maybe with your ports expanding, you can start trading further and with other nations as well that you see fit. So that's your sort of trade there as well. And as you can see, your research is already well advanced. Because you're so late in the campaign, 1783, most of the research has already been done. So I'd say half of the research has been done already. Half is still left, as you can see here. So some of the late technology is almost on the brink of being done with modern university. The same here. You've already got a military academy, remember, or I'll show you now in Philadelphia. So you've only got 2 more sort of military buildings to get to max out on your research. And again, lime juice sauerkraut to be able to get the naval hospital, which is going to give you the larger ships, as it were, as well. Or is it? Yes, it is indeed. There, see, heavy first rate ship of the lines, admirals' flagships. So again, that opens up a huge plethora. But you've already got that established. That research is already established. The economy is already established to a point. But if you really want to take it up to the next level, you're going to have to decide where you want to invest this money you have here to start off with. Now, of course, the 2 massive production centres here are Philadelphia and Boston. But Philadelphia really is the anchor, the beating heart of the nation here, the Republic, because it's already well established military academy, state house, conservatorium as well. You've got naval board here already. You've also got a great arsenal. So again, you're already able to get 12-pounders here. So you've already pretty well established. Infrastructure isn't at full strength here. So again, infrastructure is going to be key here. You want to get the roads that flow between the cities and the towns and the regions. You want to get those at maximum as quickly as possible. As you can see here, only cobble roads. Basic roads are the only things available at the moment, which does surprise me. But again, that will be up to you, my friends, to decide where you want. Specifically when you start moving down south. The south doesn't really have the same infrastructure as the north here as well. Or you're flowing eastwards, as it were. So again, you just want to make sure that you're keeping things evenly balanced here. So some of the regions here in the south aren't receiving the same sort of infrastructure push as those here in the north. But again, that can be adjusted. But then again, most of your wealth is around these 2 regions here, around Philadelphia and Boston. Now, Boston itself does need some reinforcement here. As you can see, it's still only got a drill school, military academy. You can get the ordnance factory, state capital. That'll max out the state capital here. Good bonus income. And of course, then you've got the opera house on probably settlement fortifications. Again, infrastructure not at full strength, and you've got some Minutemen here as your garrison, as it were. So that's Boston and Philadelphia. Then of course you've got New York as well, again, which you can build up to a military governor's barracks if you wish to, or you can bring it into something else. But I would have this probably as a military governor's barracks because of your proximity to the Iroquois, who are of course not that friendly with you, but also the proximity of the British as well in Canada. Now, as you can see, can already recruit a number of troops from this building, which is excellent to see. I think, how many slots is it you're going to get here? No additional, 2 additional recruitment slots, so that's excellent as well. Again, infrastructure is pretty low here, so you want to get the infrastructure flowing between these 3 regions as quickly as possible, so that you've got that ability to move your armies quickly around, and also your trade, because the better your infrastructure, the more trade can travel through those roads. And again, you've got also a huge amount you can invest in here. You've got a building here which is open to whichever you might need. You've got a school already here. I'd probably go for the craft workshop to boost that economic might here. You've also, as you can see here, got a trade port here in Plymouth, which could probably be a commercial port, which will again give you boosts to trade routes, which would increase the number of nations you can trade with, regional wealth as well, and also the ability to build some ships +3 to turn town wealth in the region. So again, you want to boost this to give it that kick there. Again, here in New York, the commercial port here, which is your hub. This is your main commercial port here in New York. As you can see, you're getting your income from Spain here, trade line here, and also from the rest of the region in France and Sweden, United Provinces. This is where it's coming into here. So again, this needs to be defended quite well here, particularly with the ships you might have. You don't have wonderful selection at the moment, but you can recruit eventually some heavy first rates if you get to that point. Again, you've got a dockyard here, and you can recruit 4th rates, some privateers as well, some admirals and 5th rates as well here. But the 4th rates really are they're going to be your sort of the backbone of your navy until you get those 1st rates and 2nd rates. And again, you could probably put another port here, or maybe another shipyard. Personally, I'd probably put another port here for Pennsylvania here to connect to this trade line here. Because at the moment the trade is flowing this way in, but if you had another trade line connecting here, it'd be a shorter path in and out of Boston and Philadelphia. And of course, you've got all of these different you've got peasant farms here, you've got a mine here, which you can upgrade here as well, because you've already got the steam pump. You've also got additional fur production here as well in New York and in the Confederation of New England as well, so that's excellent. Saratoga here is coaching in. Even here in Falmouth in Maine here, you've got some wonderful, look at that there, the coke blast furnace, another mine here as well, +700 to wealth. Excellent, really have. So you want to really hunker down here on what your economy, if you get this economy running at full speed, there's not many nations that will be able to match you, believe me. You can really push. Even Virginia here as well, look at it, they got the dry, you can go to a dry dock, that will give you access to 3rd rates. It'll give you a 5th rate here as well, some additional 4th rates, heavy privateer, 24-pounder frigates, 2nd rate ship of the line. That's what you're after. That's what you're after from the dry dock, is this. Look at that, the firepower here is exceptional. Just that stepping stone before you get to the 1st rates. And again, plenty of plantations, plenty of farms, gold mines. I think that's an iron mine. And again, in here in the Carolinas, plenty here. You've got a workshop, more farms, more plantations, another additional farm here as well, and also a church here again. Whether you want to keep that just for the population as well. They've got Savannah down here, which doesn't really have much, but strategically it is an important place, Savannah. Now, we've looked at what you've got available in terms of your mineral wealth and your sort of economic wealth, the way you can boost your economy. That is pretty standard, to be honest with you, my friends. As long as you have a goal or a plan, maybe you want to get all the mines up running first, you want to get all the workshops running up first to boost that, your income as quickly as you possibly can. That's absolutely fine there as well. But whom do you maybe look at to strike out at first? Because, as I was saying, you've got Spain and Florida. Perhaps you want to be able to unite the United States as it is now. Maybe you want to have Florida. Maybe you say, I don't want Spain and Florida. I want it to be under US control. That is an option, my friends. You've also got here the Cherokee Nations, who you are at peace with and also have trade with as well. Now, they are at the moment pretty staunch allies without being allies, if you understand what I mean. So they would probably be, you could probably leave those for a while. As you can see, you've got trade moving in and around here. See, the trade goes in and out from here, from Williamsburg into the sort of native territories, Cherokee Nations here, and out and further upwards. You've also got the the Iroquois here, who are not best pleased with you at the moment, there's a chance, a very strong chance, they will turn on you eventually, because the diplomatic overtures aren't really that strong with them at the moment. So they may be one of the first nations that actually declare war upon you or move against you, unless you move against them first. Maybe you want to bring all Cayuga and Niagara and Michigan under your control again. You've also got the British here, firmly established in Canada, and they still have Fort Nashwack here in Arcadia under their control as well. So they haven't been fully pushed out of North America, as it were. They do control Newfoundland, Akvatukia, Montenagus, Quebec, which is the principal city they control here. They've also got Montreal, Rupert's Land, and of course up here they've got the York factory as well. France has a substantial holding here. Huron. They've also got Upper Louisiana, and they've got Lower Louisiana, so they control, the whole Louisiana. So sort of river network is under their control, and a great swathe of the economy here. They've got plenty of ports as well. So again, they're pretty strong. Got a strong influence here, France. Maybe you want to come out from under sort of that historical yoke of France. Maybe you want to push them away and say, no, this is our territory now. Further westwards, you've got the Black Hills nations here, and of course then further sort of southwards, you've got New Mexico under Spain. You've got the Texas under the Pueblo nations, and you've got New Spain here. Again, Spain controls all of South America, so they really are a powerhouse here. Apart from Dutch Guyana and French Guyana, you've also got the Dutch here in Punta in the Caribbean. Again, a strong presence of Spanish and British forces here within Cuba and Jamaica and Bahamas and Santo Domingo. Again, the British here in the Antigua, and also Martinique here under French control. The trade lines here, look at that French income there, 8,000, which would be boosted pretty quickly up to 10, probably even more eventually. So again, they're the nations you're going up against, and my advice would be to not look any further than North America and South America and Canada, because that's, I think, where you're going to want to focus on before you start stretching your legs into Europe and that, because Europe can be a real tinderbox, especially if you're not ready for it. And we just have a quick look at Europe at the moment, the makeup of it as well. As you can see here, it's pretty much standard here. You've got Britain as well, of course, which is a powerhouse, Denmark, Sweden, and you've got, as you can see here, you've got an income toing and flowing already with Sweden, and of course you've got Austria, very, very strong. The Ottomans are very, very strong as well, Poland and Russia as well. So again, perhaps looking at what's available, as I was saying, with the trade, when you've got a large nation like the Ottomans and Russia, you're going to get more from them because they're larger, they've got more resources available to them. And again, you've got Spain here, which you are at peace with, Britain as well, who've got Gibraltar. So Europe is looking pretty much standard as well, and the same with the Middle East here, with the subcontinent, I beg your pardon. Most of it is under Maratha control at the moment, with a few outlying Mughal Empire regions, and also Britain has got itself established here in the sort of the east here of Cuttack and Calcutta. We've got the Punjab here as well. We've got Afghanistan, which has got four regions, I beg your pardon, and Persia again, and look at that, the Mamelukes as well. So again, Europe and the Middle East and the subcontinent look slightly different to what it normally would be, but not a great deal. The real change is within North America, and also your military. Now, what do you start off with here? You start off with John Sullivan with only provincial cavalry and Minutemen. Again, some of the garrisons here very, very weak. Dragoons, of course, not too bad, but you've got your armies are not full. But look at this, Nathaniel Greene, your finest general, bar none. Aide de camp, skilled siege defender, frontier general, and superior general. He is exceptional, an exceptional general. If it was me, I'd build an army around him. My most powerful army would be built around this gentleman here, because he is really is exceptional. And you've got, look at that, Pulaski's Legion. Look at Cuirassiers. You're already able to get 1st Delaware. Continental Marines. What's the other one we had here as well? Grenadiers, American Infantry, Mercenaries. You've got some wonderful troops you can get together here. You can also dip into the Nathan Indians, who are Native Indians, my friends, are the best hand-to-hand fighters in the world, bar none. They're exceptional. Rangers, of course, more Native Indians you can recruit as well. But of course, you want to get your armies up as quickly as possible because they're not really of a coherent nature here at all. You've got a general here in Falmouth,
Sir.
Anthony Wayne. He's pretty good, 38. He's very, very good indeed, I must be fair, especially for such a young age. Perhaps these two generals would be the ones you'd build your armies around. So you'd have two very powerful armies that you could use to either move against Britain, or you'd send one off on a campaign while the other one defends. And we'll have a look at what you can actually get here in research. So again, organised procurement, look at that. You can already get a Field Marshal of India, Field Marshal of America. That's exceptional to look at. Nothing from Diamond Formation. Fire and Advance is a standard. Shortened carbines. So we've got Lee's Legion, 4th Continental Dragoons, and 2nd Continental Light Dragoons. If you get shortened carbines, then of course you've got the Light Infantry Doctrine. Look at this. Morgan's Provincial Rifle Corps. Very nice indeed, my goodness me. Light Cavalry Sharpshooters, and of course African Light Infantry. Provincial Scouts, who are excellent. I really like the Provincial Scouts, and Legion of the United States as well. They are exceptional troops, as those of you who have seen the campaign will attest to. And of course, platoon firing, that will give you access to Army Staff College. What can you get here from the Army Board? At the moment, nothing's like light infantry here, but you can get Grenadiers. 1st Delaware, of course. And also, of course, I do have the additional units mod enabled as well. So that does give additional units to the United States as well that may not be available in standard. As you can see, look at this when you get it. You can get guards when you go to the Army Staff College. Native Indian Cavalry. You get Highlander Warband. What else can you get here? Oh, Fusiliers. My goodness me, they've got so many. Look at that there, 2nd New York. Also Scottish Line Infantry, Grenadier Guards, Republican Guards, 2nd Continentals. That is exceptional. You really, really can. You can get some wonderful troops here. You really, really can. Of course, I've got the additional units mod, so that gives you access to additional troops, particularly the Marines. It gives you access to many Marines. Unless, of course, the Marines come, I think... There it is. The Marines come from Reform Naval Administration. There is U.S. Continental Marines late. So that's exceptional to see. I'm pretty sure you get other... I was pretty sure you got some of that. There it is. Continental Marines here, which you've already got access to. And, there it is. When you get the Naval College, you get the US Marines. These gentlemen are incredible. The US Marines are fantastic. Look at that. So again, you're able to get the once you get the Naval College, which is here, when you get Naval College and you've got Reform Naval Administration and Technology Research, it opens up the whole. You can create a Marine Corps, which is really fantastic. It really, really is. But that, my friends, is probably the basics of the campaign. As you can see here, we give you the ability where you want to trade, who may you want to strike against at. We're showing, which directions you want to maybe move to strategically in terms of your foes, your friends. You may want to be friends, not be friends with anybody. You want to be completely sort of just go it alone to capture everything and not have any allies at all. You may want to make an ally for just convenience, so that you keep them at bay for a while until you're ready to strike against them. But that, my friends, is the United States Nations Guide here. It is an extraordinary campaign, and I really would recommend it to anybody, even if you just started out at Empire Total War. It's a wonderful, wonderful campaign. It really, really is. There's so many different options, especially just in the Americas itself. Brilliant. When you get into the Europe as well, you start fighting in Europe. Extraordinary. It really, really is. But I hope you've enjoyed this Nations Guide, my friends. Many of you might see this and think, how come we got such another episode up so quickly in the United States? It isn't, my friends. It's a Nations Guide. But I hope you've enjoyed it. But as always, my friends, whatever you're doing, please be safe. Thank you for all of your wonderful support and advice. But until next time, bye for now.